All right. Yeah, how's it going, guys? Um, so I'm in BEN for Benjamin or Franklin Templeton Investments, and I think you can see that I got in right here at 2570, and it went down, and now it's going against me. Someone on the chat, on the Discord app, asked me if I'm going to get on, and I don't want to be that guy that gets in here and then go live after the fact that it goes, just to show that I succeeded. So right now I'm going on because I'm not succeeding at the moment. I'm down 10 cents, as you can see, or yeah, 10 cents. But yeah, I always feel like it's more important to show the psychology of the trading, so you can see, the amount of stress I'm in. But let's see what happens. So this is what I see on the daily here. Today was a wild ride for BEN. It started off right down here at 2507, and then it went all the way down, and it basically touched this area on this daily candle, this low. And then it went all the way back up. Now it basically touched this area. You can see how it touched this candle, this one. Basically, you can kind of create a rough line right here of where it stopped, and it's coming back down. It has the potential to go up here. Wait, this one's high is 25.99, which is basically 26. So I have to worry about that. On the 15s, this is basically how you can see how the crazy move that it did today. It went up and went all the way down to touch that other candle, and then it went all the way back up. And on the 5s, and this is why I entered, because of all these green candles here, with this slight red right here, of a slight reset, it went back up, and then I entered basically on a 5-minute candle, meaning that it triggered past this previous red candle, it went down, and then it almost touched this 9-minute EMA, 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart, which generally tells me when to exit, and I didn't get out in time, and now it's going back up. And here's another reason why it went back up. It went down to here, which is basically the pivot point right back here. You guys see that? So these are basically what other people are seeing, patterns where it would retrace itself, and it did. But what I'm guessing is that it's done. So it needs to come back down eventually. I don't. Every time I say I don't see it going there, it actually does. So I'm just not going to say it. But it has potential to come up here. But it also has potential to come back down here to the 2570s, which is yeah, basically my entry. So I can break even here, or it can go back up. So I have to be very careful. And of course, hopefully I'm not going to be on this chat for too long. But the way this is moving, it may be on for a while. So this is where you get to see me sweat a little bit. So what you probably need to know, according to how many shares I'm using, this is a $25 stock, so I can basically use over 5,000 shares. But because it's not a perfect setup, because it went all the way down and back up, and if we look at the studies here, I just checked recently, it didn't go out of the band, and it didn't even touch the band really. See how sometimes when it gets far extended, it'll touch the band and it'll come back down, and See, it's just a big mess here. So I would assume that there are some news that created this kind of movement. But a lot of times, if it breaks through the band, then we know that elasticity is there. You know, it has that snapback. That was me holding an invisible rubber band, pulling it apart. and But of course, what I usually aim for is the moving average, the 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart, which doesn't show much elasticity either. It'll come back down to here, which is 25.67. So I gotta put my greed in check. And of course, in trading, we know that we could lose money. And I guess that in that part, a lot of people will consider this a gamble. But you already saw the patterns and the pivot points, which is the support and resistance lines. There's a method to our chaos, as all traders have, right? So I like to see it come back down, and then by the volume determine if it's going to go through or it's going to do that triple bounce and just be ridiculous. So I'm just going to let it ride. If y'all have any questions, you can ask it now. Because I'm just going to be sitting here watching paint dry. I actually have had a few people ask questions. Let me see. Somebody messaged me on Gmail. Michael. He said he found me on YouTube. I'm in the beginning stages of learning how to day trade. Would you have any recommendations, or do you have teach? Or maybe he's just asking if I do teach. Well, I think my videos will basically... I did post the counter trend strategy, which has been modified quite a bit. Not quite a bit, just a little bit ever since I created that video. But if after you search through YouTube and all these people trying to teach you how to trade, the strategy is always rather simple. Just stick with that one strategy and see if it works for you. And a lot of times whenever you're paper trading, it does work. What doesn't work is the psychology of trading. Are you okay giving away money and then maybe getting it back? I remember the first time I gambled just for fun. I was a mechanic, and I had money, but just laying it out there because a lot of people assume mechanics don't have much money. And his game was just flip the card on the playing deck, and if your card's higher than his, you get $20. If your card is less than his, you lose $20. So in less than a split second, you flip that card, and you'll know if you lost money. And I lost like $40 in under 2 minutes. I felt like I needed to throw up, and that's the last time I ever gambled. I think, for that kind of money in a split second. And a lot of times you have to have that resilience in order to trade. So when we do trade, we need to make sure that we have all our parameters covered. We know exactly why we're trading this stock. We know exactly the strategy and how effective it is. So I'm not here trying to stress how effective my strategy is. It just works for me because it's slower, and I'm not that kind of person in the morning that likes to do a really fast moving stock. Even though if I do them every now and then if I can't sleep and I just wake up early in the morning, but most of the time I'm looking for, believe it or not, a falling knife is a slow. It feels slower than a morning trade because you get to watch that thing go down and you just catch it at the bottom. I mean, you get to spend a good minute at least watching it move and then potentially enter, rather than waiting for that market bell to start and you try to dive in whenever you see something and it's going to go up and it's going to fly down. It's just not me. So some people are fast. That's good for you, but this works for me. That's all I'm trying to get at. And then once you figure it out how to do that, then you need to do the math and then figure out how to figure your risk reward. And that's basically applies to why you're trading this stock, if it fits your parameters. But then you need to know how many shares to use. So in this case, this is a 75 percenter. So if you have a pattern day trading account, then you should have buying power of the minimum of 100,000. From there, figure out what your pain tolerance is. Are you able to lose $200 without worrying? Are you able to lose $50? If it's $50, then you should be using 75% of that $50. That amount of shares. And that's why I always have this chart that I show you guys every now and then right here. This will tell you, or tell me exactly what's my pain tolerance here. Am I willing to risk 50, 100, or 200? And I can basically throw in the amount of shares right in between. And if it's a $20 stock and at a $100,000 buying power, then you have a maximum of 5,000. So I get to look at it and tell myself, don't be stupid. Don't throw in 5,000 shares on one stock, even though it sounds reasonable sometimes. Hey, what's going on, Eddie? Are you actually earning money consistently? If so, how long for? I've traded since high school. I picked it back up after I got sick. It's been about 6 years now, over 6 years that I picked it back up. I was most successful in high school, if that's what you're asking. But now I'm consistent. Now that I understand the meaning of money again. You can look at, if you go through my history in videos, I have 2 months worth. Almost every single day I've logged 2 months worth of my trading. I'm basically 90 percentile green. Hey, what's going on, Lindsay? And just to make this clear, any professional trader roughly has 70 to 90 percentile. Some people brag about 95 percentile. I'm not going to question that. What I do have a problem with are people that can't believe that. And I'll say this much: you could have a 90 percentile, and if you look through my history from the very beginning, when you find that one red day that I have, one red day out of 10, which basically makes it 90%, that was a really bad red day. And that is the problem with counter trend. I guess it could be avoided. At this point in my life, I would say it can easily be avoided. But a lot of times when you need to counter trend and you find the wrong peak or dip or pivot point and you start doubling down, that's when you get into bigger trouble, deeper waters. So that, I would say, a lot of times my bad days are bad. It can take a week out of my profits. So I'm not trying to, just throwing that out there, just to make sure that everyone understand that the severity of a 90th percentile. You can be 40% green and be greener than me. Basically, that's all I'm saying, depending on your risk reward. So I'm always on this chat room here. It should be in the description. It's JNewbie. It's Newbie Trading. I really like this. I'm gonna keep saying that every stream because I talk about when I enter, and that's important because YouTube has a 20-30 second lag. I'm not trying to convince you to follow me, and in fact I got on this stream a little bit late while I'm losing. I don't want to get, like I said, I don't want to be that guy that gets on late and just act like I know what I'm doing. But most of y'all that are following me right now are from way back when. I don't really honestly get any new subscribers because I don't know how to get cringy like that, guys. I don't know how to market myself, and I don't want to. I don't want that kind of people. I don't want to be that person that has to convince anybody. But those of you who used to be in my chat a long time ago, years ago, know who I am. Eddie says, that's great, well done. I'm afraid to ever get back and try 3 times, about $4,000 each time over 2 years. Made some, but then lost all. Ugh. Used NinjaTrader and scalped future commodities, oil, gold. Hey, that's. I totally feel you there. We all successful traders, in my opinion, have bombed at least once or twice, and then every time you get back into the seat, it gets harder and harder, right? Okay, 1 second here. It's back down to the pivot to this area. This is going to be either... okay, it broke. Nice. Let's see. Now again, I don't want to be greedy here, so I'm going back to my 9 EMA. Okay, it passed that. I'm going to go to the VWAP. The VWAP says it can go down to 25.26, which is, you know, it's reaching. At that point, we're pretty much reaching, but it always tends, you know, it happens. But I think I'm going to get out here pretty soon because I have things to do, and that's basically me saying that not being greedy. So I'm going to get on the Discord app right now and get ready to type in my exit. So yeah, okay, I'm out at 25.62. Yeah, 25.62, which is not much, right? That was like an 8-cent deal, but the thing was, it went red on me, and I just want y'all to see how you could possibly make something that looked like a loser end up okay. So I exited right here. In my opinion, at this moment, there's no telling what it will do, and that's just my opinion, okay? And I'm always wrong. There's no telling what's going to happen. So if it's not going to be work out the way you wanted it to initially, you gotta keep looking at it. You gotta keep scanning it to determine, is it worth doing? Because there's always going to be something else. Like for instance, right in my counter trend right here, you could tell that Ben was announced over 20 minutes ago. Ever since then, all of these have been announced, and these could be so much better. And on the Discord app, we have quite a few people shouting out some really good possible trades. Actually, nobody said anything yet. Probably because the market's been real choppy, and I'm assuming that because well, first J Newbie said so, and Double Dip is saying gold is being gold pimping, market dipping, gold pimping, and he also is in SO short 500 shares. Back to what you were asking, Eddie. Well, now that we understand how to lose, then we also understand how to take paper trading more seriously. And losing 4,000 each time is actually very. It's admirable. I mean, people lose a lot the first time around, and to just cut yourself off at 4,000, that's not bad. And that's what I actually encourage. When I first started the chat room, I noticed a lot of people were outside of the U.S., or even if they were inside the U.S., they were trying to get around that pattern day trading minimum of 25,000. That's when I got. That's when I started venturing into like, just like Ross Cameron did. If you notice, he's always looking for something that has a better deal with his $500 challenge. And what I did was, I got the student account in TradeNet, and that worked out great because it's almost like cheating. I had $80,000 buying power, which is just 20,000 shy of 100. So it kind of worked out. I had, of course, when you have a small such a small buying power, you're basically maxing out every single time. It's not like you're going 30% or 50% buying power. You're going 70, 80, sometimes 100 when you know, and minimizing your loss. So the market's always against you when you have less money. That's just how life is, right? But yeah, Eddie, good for you for for always trying, because as you probably already know, it's all the psychology, right? How many times have we traded and got out too early? How many times did we trade something bad and stayed in it? Because psychologically, we're thinking we can use our own mind powers to get it to move where we want it to. So being able to dissect the chart and understand where we're coming from psychologically, why we're still in it, keep asking yourself why, keep blinking your eyes, keep breathing, and you'll find your niche, you'll find your groove. Nancy said he made 641 pounds paper trading today. That's awesome, man. And I, like I keep saying, like, paper trading can be tricky for some. A lot of people say they paper trade and it doesn't work. It does work. It does work if you actually have the imagination. If you don't feel discomfort when you're paper trading, then you're not paper trading right. But considering Lindsay didn't say he made like 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, or I don't know, $10,000 paper trading, then I'm pretty sure he's being practical here. All right, so looks like, like I said, you could go further down, according to the VWAP, but it lost its elasticity for a counter trend, and I'm really not for. If you look at my previous videos, I'm not for those ones that fade. I mean, there are plenty other stocks to trade. This one did a dip like that. This one was pretty nice. $0.10 spread. This has range. It's expensive. TNDP. I'm just looking at TNDM. What am I saying? I'm just looking at my trade ideas. Look at this one, guys. Look how it just dived down like this. But it looks like it's doing a dead cat bounce. Let me see. Oh, it's recovering from a very strong move the previous day. But that is undeniably a pretty irrational move. Well, I don't know if it's that irrational according to the daily, but it could pivot back up, right? It could bounce back up, this one. Tandem diabetes. So it's a... Hey, Emilio. So I'm going to go on Discord and announce this one, because I think this one's kind of pretty. Let me double check on the daily here, though. It could go down to here, right? Down to this area at 72. What is that? 72. Basically 71.99, 72. And we went down to 72.54. My cat is clawing my knee. Okay. I think another possible way to prevent over trading is to get yourself a fat cat, because that bastard needs to get fed like every 10 minutes. So I almost have to take a break every time. He won't leave me alone. The dude will just keep clawing me, grabbing onto my leg until I get up and feed him. I love this guy, but dude needs to go on a diet. This one actually looks good. Do you see this amount of volume here in this parabolic move downwards? This amount of volume to prevent. So the low point would probably. How come it's not showing my low? The low is 27.54. So it's kind of like 50 cents away. So I'm putting on the Discord app, watching TNDM. TNDM. It looks like it's going to do another dip, and we'll see what happens from there. But by then, you know, every time it dips down, it's losing its bounce back. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Schnauz? He said, because you do not want to take a loss of 99%, the loss will get out of control, destroy your account. Easy thing to easily said, extremely hard to do. Yeah, it is. Because we're guys and we're stupid like that. We have an ego. Emilio says, "Hey Eddie Murray, do you have a working strategy for? And did you know what you did wrong?" Yeah, those are two really good questions that we need to. There's the possible bounce right there. Getting ready to type it in. I just wanted to get it to bounce back up over 73. I mean 73. My cat is still clawing my knee. Getting ready to type it in. Just watching it to go over 73. I have a new dog today. His name is Chief. He's a German Shepherd. He likes to try to scare my cat. So if you okay. Getting ready now. There's a spread on this one. Okay, I'm in at 73.08. So I'm in right here, 73.08. Right here. It's kind of hard to see. A little bit thicker. There we go. And then from there you just breathe, right? I remember how it was when I first started. It was not easy. Okay, let's look at the chat. Hugh Ngol says, "Hi Albert, what do you think about indicators like RSI and MACD?" Man, I haven't heard those in a long time, but I use those for swing trading. And yeah, RSI is relative strength index. So if it's extreme over 30, then yeah, it's definitely going to go. But they're all the same, right? They all tell you if it's extended or not. So whichever works for you. I would say RSA would be effective. MACD, moving average, convergent, divergent, not so much in day trading, but swing trading, yeah. Eddie Murray, you never leverage or anything like that. So much easier to get taken out. Oh, yeah. No, okay, he's just agreeing with him. Okay. Rumpelstiltskin. What's going on, man? I have tons of questions, but we'll defer them since yet to set up a trading station. Looking at your YouTube pass and will trouble you when into paper trading. Yeah, anytime. Anytime. Emilio says, at Eddie, I trade crude and daily basis use. Okay. That's cool if you can actually. The only thing I have against trading crude and stuff like that is the news. News always messes up technicals. That's just me. I have a couple of friends that trade, including my dad. He trades oil and he does well. I I just I just hate anything that gets affected like that. I gotta watch out here. It looks like it's going down, but with no volume. So I'm hoping it'll come back up and stay over 73. Right. Good deal, Emilio. He never trades on news. It's just my luck. Every time I look into oil, there's some kind of bad news or something, you know? War, trade war. Eddie says, thanks y'all, might get back at someday. Too many kids to look after right now. Yeah, I totally get that. I totally understand that. I don't have kids, but if I had kids, then that's a different level of stress. I had a really hard time trading when I got married. It was a lot easier when you're single. Once you're married, then you gotta defer back to the new boss, you know? The last thing I want is to disappoint my wife. My cat's trying to figure out a way to get on the training. This little bastard here. It's so funny. When he was a kitten, I had to sheath all the wires because the dude would chew the wires on my computer. He was such a risk factor. He wasn't even teething. He was just hungry. Okay, this is going bad. Let's see what's going to happen here. I'm going to be out if it goes below. Gotta look back at my daily again, see why it's doing what it's doing. I was coming back to here, like back down here. Wait, where am I? Oh yeah, it's coming up here. I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay. Still has potential. Now let's throw in a study. Let's throw in a VWAP. It's riding the band. Amelia said my mom's dog lost an eye chewing a power cable. Dude, that sucks. At least he has another eye. Builds character. My stop loss would be the low. So under here. Somewhere under this area right here. So under 72.35. And just to put that out, 72.35, right? So that's like a 60 cent. So I look at my chart, immediately I know exactly how much I could be losing depending on how much I planned on losing right here. And like I said, that is dependent on how good the stock looked. And it looked okay, but it didn't look, it's not perfect, right? What's not perfect about it, and let me just get back to it, is the fact that it's recovering from a really strong move the previous day. So people that swung it up considered it overtraded, and then they're bringing it back down. So I need to be concerned about how much more down it's going to go. But if it had like 3 green days and it's like all the way up there, then shorting something like that is very predictable, especially if it has that shape, the parabolic move with the volume. Then that's like when all the stars are aligned. That's when I may have a stop loss of $500. Hold on, those are some really good questions, Emilio, but I need to look at this real fast. I don't want it to dive down below, so let me just go ahead and put a stop loss. I mean, a live stop. Okay. Generally, I never do live stops because I don't want people stopping the market, stopping me out. But it's not looking great the way it's shaped. So we'll just leave it at that. I put my stop down here. Right at 30. 31. Right here. Okay. And if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's just how life is. Amelia asked, did you ever trade the trend? Oh yeah, I do. Definitely. I used to trade well, with trend I usually trade in the morning for that breakout. But then after that, I'll be using this chart, this purple chart, to see pullbacks. To see one that look like it has the potential to break out the previous high. That to me is more predictable than the morning, probably because I'm not fast enough. But yeah, I those are the 3 that I usually do. But what I'm trying to do right now is focus on one strategy for my friends that are just starting, because that way you can have an idea of how one style works, and to me it's less stressful as long as you have to put in the right amount of shares that doesn't stress you out. And to me, because it's slower, it's more reliable. Imagine like a new trader that doesn't have a backup power supply, and then the power goes out, and while you're in a trade, man, you can get your power back, and still pull out okay on that trade. If it's something like this, if it works out. But if, let's just say that you're in a gap trade and the power goes out, I would have a panic attack if I didn't have backup, because it will go so fast one way, and you know it can easily go the other way when you're not looking in like less than a minute, right? If you're wrong in the morning, you could be wrong big time. And if the power goes out, that just makes me feel uncomfortable thinking about it. Okay, this has a live stop on that red line. I'm gonna feed this hungry cat. Come here. Check this guy out. Look at this. See, you guys see him? Look at that belly. Yeah, I'm fat shaming you, buddy. Look at that belly. Okay. You know where Amelia says, now I know where Garfield lives? Yep. That guy's something else. But he's really talented. I'm really oh. Thought I hit my dog. I'm really talented. I'm really... he's really talented for a cat. I trained him almost like I train my dogs. IQ 200. How's it going, man? It's been a long time. IQ 200. Imran. Glad to see you around. IQ 200's been around since the very beginning with me, when he was starting up. He's a really smart guy. Imran, yeah. If I remember correctly, Imran's in Europe somewhere where they don't have pattern day trading rules. So, good for him. Nice memory. It's hard not to remember you, Imran. When you have a name IQ 200, it's hard to forget somebody like you. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's see if we can break over this area up here. Probably speaking too soon, but the UK, yeah. Ms. Shania says training is not easy like many people think. It takes take money to withstand the drawdown. Most people blow up a few times and give up for good. Yeah, they do. Including myself. I blew up one account. I kind of blew it up. Meaning I went underneath the pattern day trading limitations. You know, I went under 25,000. The account was small, but it went down under 25,000 while I was married, and that hurt a lot. And that's when I couldn't even execute a trade for 3 or 4 months because you have to. It's just the initiation. It's just the initiation of becoming a better trader, which most people can't understand because in life, especially, I'm going to sound racist here, but as an Asian, we're always striving for an A, right? And I wasn't an A student. I was probably one of the less studious than my friends. But all my friends were striving for A's. I mean, if you got a B, B was for bad for Asians. And D's don't go home. But in trading, a B's pretty good. A C's still pretty good. You know, it's gotta let things go. That's really hard to do unless you understand that, unless you have that mindset. And this thing's struggling to go back up, but I think it's found its bottom. Now we just gotta wait. Simon says cup and handle pattern. Yeah, looks like it. But usually I'm expecting a cup and handle at the top instead of at the bottom. But it is a pretty formation. Yeah. Emilio says, may exit here would be 50% now, 25% at 74, and let the rest run. Yeah. Something's gonna happen. But, you know, every time it goes underneath that red line that I create, it's never comfortable. It's never comfortable, but you get used to it. Should ask Jeremy Newby. He's the one that has the most fortitude in the Discord app. So, yeah, Imran, if you haven't already, you should get on this Discord app. Jeremy Newby's here. He's been around just like you have, Imran. And he's doing really good now. As I keep watching him, I realize what kind of monster he is when it comes to his resilience. And he shared with me the other day how, I know he's a pilot, but he shared with me how he flew this airplane crop dusting. I guess that's when you dust crops with chemicals. I didn't realize the risk behind crop dusting. You have to go really low. You have obstacles all over the place. It's scary to watch. Turf says you had a great exit on that bend short. Did I? My hindsight is 2020 today. Oh yeah, I see it now. It actually broke highs on Ben. Sometimes not being greedy works out. But sometimes, honestly speaking, whenever I see Jeremy hold for so long, part of me is thinking he's getting a little greedy now, but hell, it seems to work for him because he has that ability to reassess, continually reassess. I'm easier. I'm faster on the trigger to exit than he is. Amelia says, is it okay to paste our one trades in Discord even if it's other than stocks? Yeah, I think so. I don't see why not. It's a small community and I like it that way. I'm pretty sure Jeremy's chat will blow up eventually, in which case it's just gonna happen. IQ200 says apologies as I just turned in and can't see your blotter. What was your entry? Oh, what was it? My entry was 7308, so this red line right back here. I should redraw it since it's been a while. 7308. It should be in the Imran, I see you on Discord now. It should be there on the Discord app. So I posted ins long 7308, and that was it doesn't tell you the time for this one, only the previous one, but 12:48. So this is one of those trades that's gonna take a while, and this is almost intentional. What's wrong, buddy? Huh? This dog is such a baby. He always cries. German Shepherds, regardless of the way they look and how we assume how prominent they are, like Rin Tin Tin, or any other movie you see a German Shepherd in, they're very sensitive. And their intelligence gets in the way, so they become very sensitive. So now it's creating, we want that triple top basically. Just hit it once, hit it twice, and break through the third time. And third time's a charm. If it doesn't go up, then it's not gonna go. So I know back in the days, I would have the high-low ticker on the side right here, and I would just keep clicking away looking for a trade. And you probably noticed that if you browse through my old videos, that I would do a lot of trades, a lot, and I'll scalp over and over again, and it worked out. It always worked out pretty good if you're focused enough, if you're in that groove. But now I can't even fathom doing that. It's just really, because over time, as you keep using that high-low ticker, not having all your set parameters, you start slipping. Everything starts looking good. Then you just fall off that bandwagon. Seems to be forming higher lows. Yeah. Who knows? It may just flatline with my luck, but it's okay. Yep, there's a little dip down now. Let's see. Amelia says That's exactly why I day trade. Only one market period. Yeah, I wish I could figure out how to. But yeah, that's actually a really good. That's you probably have a really good eye on trading that since that's your forte. IQ 200 says, "Have you shifted back to trading, Albert? I recall from your Facebook it was a temporary thing." Um, Shifted back to trading? Not really. In fact, I'm just doing this to. I shouldn't even say I'm burning time because, or just passing time because I'm really busy. I've been more busy than ever working with dogs. Pretty much established myself as a professional dog trainer now. It's just that I miss trading. I should be working on videos on dogs and trying to help more people. Um, it's it's just really rewarding to try to save as many dogs as I can, or definitely try to show people how a damaged dog can become an awesome dog. But I this may just be a phase, this online trading thing. But I always have the platform. I can always trade whenever I want. It's just a matter of just do I want to trade live? And how that's basically all there really is to it. I mean, it's a lot easier to trade without the stream. That's a fact. But now that my friend Jeremy Newby has his Discord chat room, it seems like it's synonymous. I can just post what I feel on there, and if I feel like it'll help some of them with a live stream, why not? Hey, what's going on, Cricket? How's today going? It's going okay. Frank Wu. Hi, Albert. Thanks for sharing the live trade. Do you not trade stocks? I do not trade stocks, but it's good to see you're sharing. Hey, awesome. Cheers. I wish I could share something that's going to go, but this thing just may go sideways. So we'll just leave it at that, guys. It's almost an hour. Holy crap. But just know that my live stop is down here at what do I have it at? 7231. And if it breaks over this area, then it's up to you to decide. But of course, I like to use the 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart right here. So right now it's only 73.0. What is it? 72. Right now it's 72.98. So that's lower than my entry. Let's look at the. So right now it's not looking good. And that's all there really is to it. The VWAP is 75.71. So this is one of those ones that are just going to grind away. It's that kind of market, guys. And you can see the SPY just dipped a little bit. Cricket says SCH. Let me see. SCHW may come down. Yeah, I can see that. It's one of those fadeaways. Especially with the red little spike right here on the trade ideas. IQ says, from what I've seen on your Facebook and vids, you're a great dog trainer. You definitely have a great future in it. Thanks. Thank you, Imran. I love working with dogs. I don't like working with well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes the humans can be fickle. Cricket fingers, not so much your strat, but I like how it's shaped up. Yeah, me too. Talking about SCHW, right? Yeah, I like the way it's shaping as well. But I'm just tired of these kind of moves. You know, I'm 15 minutes tops. That would be an ideal counter trend. But when it starts doing the fades, I'll leave that to to the other guys. But yeah, I'm gonna stop it here, guys. It's just taking way too long. Now it's over an hour. I just keep talking. Just talk, talk, talk. So, just know that I'm gonna stay in it as long as it's within this channel. If it goes below the this line right here that I created at 72.31, then I'm out, which is really close. So hopefully it doesn't do the dip down and bounce back up. But otherwise, most likely today is going to be a wash unless it goes. Amelia says, do you have a video about how you enter a potential trade? No, I don't actually. Honestly, I don't, because I don't really stress it. Because I always thought counter trending is the way to teach beginner trader, but trend trading is pretty. I would say the easiest way is to teach pullback trading. To learn how to read pivots. That's a really good. I'll remember this question, Emilio, because I'm always trying to figure out what else to help out people with, and I always get stuck not knowing. I figure it's always the same thing, so there's not much to teach. But now that you bring that up, maybe I should. Yeah, I gotta get going, guys. Thanks for hanging around. Watch me stress over some trades. First one went okay, but this one is still yet to see. But again, if you're on the Discord app, you'll know when I'm in and out. I just don't want to keep this live stream running forever. Alright, take care, guys. I'll see you. Bye.